Have you ever had days when everything seems to fall apart? When the weight of the world becomes unbearable and every step feels harder than the last? If you're going through that right now, listen, this isn't the end. It's the beginning of something much greater. It's 3 in the morning, you're wide awake, trying to figure out where you went wrong, trying to understand why things never seem to work out for you. And in that moment, part of you wants to scream, while the other part just wants to give up. But listen to this before you make any decision, because what you're about to hear might change everything. Before we go on, hit the subscribe button. It helps me create more videos that can truly change lives, just like my life was changed. Napoleon Hill warned us, the greatest successes in life often come right after the moment when most people give up. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Stephen King threw his first novel in the trash until someone believed in it. Before a great victory, life tests everything that is strongest within you, not to break you, but to shape you. Edison failed more than 10,000 times before making the light bulb work. Ford was rejected until people mocked him. Carnegie heard hundreds of no's before the first yes. But they kept going, and now it's your turn. When everything starts falling apart, the first voice you'll hear is fear. It'll tell you you're not good enough. It'll whisper you've tried too many times, and it'll scream, give up. But that voice is not your truth. It's the voice of discouragement, the one that always shows up when you're too close to something extraordinary. Napoleon Hill wrote, "Most people give up when they're just one step away from success." So no matter how dark it seems right now, know this is only the final test. And you? Are you going to stop here, or will you keep going until the miracle happens? Now imagine yourself at the peak of your crisis, the crushing sense of failure, the fear of letting go, exhaustion consuming every inch of your will. Hill says these moments light up an internal alarm. You're on the edge of a powerful transformation. Instead of running from it, he suggests something radical. Breathe deeply and do the opposite of what your fear tells you. Face it, because that's where real growth begins. Just like Edison, who found in every failed attempt not a reason to stop, but a spark of new understanding.
Think about Ford, who, despite countless rejections, recognized his own worth and pressed on until he built a revolution in the automotive world. Hill emphasizes that persistence is the key that unlocks the treasure chest of greatness. Hang on a little longer, he says, and you might truly be just one step from victory. Life doesn't change the day everything goes right. Life changes the day you decide not to quit. Napoleon Hill called this the definite decision, the moment when, with your heart shattered and your soul tired, you choose to keep going. Not because it's easy, but because deep down you know giving up won't take you anywhere. But trying again, even from zero, might take you to everything you ever dreamed of. There's a silent moment, almost imperceptible, when everything changes. It doesn't come with fireworks or applause. It comes with a firm whisper inside the mind. I decide. That's the key that separates those who drift through life from those who take the wheel of their own story. The power of decision isn't just about choosing between two paths. It's about fully owning, with courage, that your life is your responsibility. It doesn't matter what happened in your past, who hurt you, or what you were denied. The instant you decide that you will no longer be a victim of circumstance, you activate a force that shifts your frequency, your energy, your destiny. A decision isn't just a thought, it's an inner vow. It's the moment you stop waiting for a miracle and decide to be the miracle. When you say, enough, I refuse to live below what I know I deserve, the universe listens. Making a true decision is like stepping onto an invisible bridge. You can't see the ground on the other side, but you walk anyway. And that's exactly what activates the law of attraction at its highest level. Because the universe doesn't respond to vague wishes, it responds to unwavering inner certainty. It responds to the vibrational commitment you release when you decide with every fiber of your being that something is going to happen. This decision doesn't depend on external conditions. It doesn't matter if you don't have the money yet, the contacts, the support. What matters is the energy you carry. Because when you decide with your whole heart, the path begins to align. People appear. Opportunities unfold. It's as if the unseen finally answers. Now you're ready. Decision is the starting point of every miracle. But many people confuse desire with decision. Wanting something is not the same as choosing it. Desire clings to doubt and comfort zones. Decision burns the boats. It says, I'm going, and no matter what happens, I'm not turning back. That's when real transformation begins. Because decision activates focus. Focus channels your energy. And where your energy goes, your reality grows. Every time you hesitate, you feed stagnation. But every time you choose with clarity, you move mountains. Nothing is more powerful than a human being who has truly decided to live their greatness. Not because everything is perfect, but because they stopped hiding behind excuses. That's what makes someone unstoppable.
The moment to decide is now. Not tomorrow, not when everything falls into place. Decision is the seed of transformation. And if you plant that seed today, the impossible will begin to bow to your conviction. Because life always honors those who decide with their whole soul. Pain is not a punishment, it's a signal. Napoleon Hill believed that every adversity carries within it the seed of an equivalent benefit. But that seed only blooms for those who decide not to quit. When everything gets hard, that is exactly when you must keep going. That is when you are closest to your breakthrough. Have you ever wondered what sustains a person when everything around them falls apart? When failure knocks at the door, resources vanish, rejection piles up, and the world seems to conspire against you? It is in these very moments, the ones where most people give up, that true winners are revealed. Napoleon Hill, after decades studying the greatest names in history, discovered that success is rarely a product of luck. It's born from the relentless application of three pillars of power: a burning sense of purpose, unshakable self-confidence, and conscious persistence. These pillars aren't vague concepts or overly inspirational ideas that are hard to apply. They are, in fact, the practical foundations that uphold every great empire, like the one built by Andrew Carnegie, who transformed his story of rejection, poverty, and humiliation into one of the most powerful legacies in financial history. And today, you're going to understand how to apply this to your own life. Because if these three pillars were enough to transform a poor boy into a tycoon, just imagine what they can do for you. The first pillar is the awareness of purpose. Hill teaches that it's not enough to have a goal. You need a reason so powerful it consumes you from the inside out. Purpose is the why that gets you out of bed when nothing else makes sense. Carnegie, for example, had such a clear and burning purpose that nothing could shake him. He wanted to become the richest man in the world, not just out of greed, but to prove that greatness could be built from nothing. That purpose kept him grounded through closed doors, through others' disbelief, and through the loneliness that often comes with visionaries. When you have a real, deep, personal purpose, you don't need external motivation. The inner fire drives you. Purpose is not a luxury for the privileged. It's the emotional anchor for anyone who chooses to live with meaning. If you feel lost today, it's because you haven't clearly defined what you're pursuing. And without a solid why, any how can defeat you. The second pillar is unshakable self-confidence. But here's a secret Napoleon Hill reveals, one that few truly understand. Self-confidence doesn't come from luck or others' praise. It's cultivated. It's built like a muscle, through repeated small victories, through the recognition of your capabilities, even when no one else believes in you. Carnegie was rejected, discredited, and ridiculed, but he knew what he could bring to the table. He recognized his intelligence, his strategic mind, his ability to learn from failure. Carnegie's confidence didn't come from a fancy resume. It came from his certainty that he could grow every single day. And that's exactly what you must cultivate: the ability to look at yourself with respect, to list your strengths, to remember the battles you've already won, and to refuse to dim your light. Because when you believe in yourself, the world begins to reflect that belief. But if you secretly doubt, the universe will doubt with you. And the third pillar, the most challenging of them all, is conscious persistence. Persistence is not about blindly trying the same thing over and over again. It's about acting every single day with intention. It's about understanding that every small effort, even if it seems useless now, is adding momentum to the creation of your success. Carnegie faced rejection after rejection. He was turned down by investors, criticized by his peers, and ignored by those in power. But he never stopped. Every day he adjusted his approach, refined his arguments, learned from every failure, and stepped back into the arena. And this is exactly what most people are missing: the daily habit of doing what must be done without applause, without instant results. Conscious persistence means understanding that the process is just as valuable as the achievement. It means trusting that every seed you plant today, even in the middle of a storm, will bloom in its season. Most people quit because they don't see quick results. But the great ones know that fertile soil takes time, and if you keep watering, the harvest is inevitable. These three pillars, purpose, self-confidence, and persistence, form the foundation of any truly transformative journey. And the story of Andrew Carnegie proves it. He was born into poverty, in a humble home in Scotland, and immigrated to the United States with his family in search of a better life. He started as a bobbin boy in a textile factory, then became a telegraph messenger, slowly learning about business, investments, and the art of leadership. His rise wasn't meteoric. It was built on years of hardship, humiliation, and failure. But he had purpose. He believed in himself, and he never stopped. Years later, he wouldn't just found the Carnegie Steel Company. He would become the richest man in the world. And most impressively, he dedicated the final years of his life to giving away the majority of his fortune to educational and social causes. Because those who build upon these pillars build to last. It's not just about becoming wealthy, it's about leaving a legacy. And now you might be wondering, how do I apply this to my own life? Start by asking yourself, what is my purpose? Write it down, refine it, meditate on it. Then begin training your self-confidence. List everything you've already overcome. Celebrate every step forward, no matter how small, and surround yourself with affirmations and thoughts that empower you. And finally, set daily actions, small, practical, consistent, that move you closer to your goal. Because the difference between those who make it and those who give up isn't talent. It's the daily decision to keep going, to get up even after falling, to try again even after failing, to believe even when everything seems to scream no. Napoleon Hill captured it perfectly. Most men meet with failure just before they are about to achieve success. Not because they were wrong, but because they stopped too soon. So take a look at your life right now, see where you are, and understand, this is not the end. It's the rehearsal before your breakthrough. If you embrace these three pillars and decide with conviction that you will persist, no matter how long it takes, you will get there. And when you do, you'll look back with gratitude for not giving up when everything felt impossible. Because it's exactly there, on that thin line between failure and success, that the magic happens. And it begins with one decision: to build your life upon the three pillars of inner strength. When you combine these three pillars, you become unstoppable. Do you still remember why you started? That dream still lives inside you, even if it's buried under the dust of disappointment. It's faint, but it's not dead. Napoleon Hill said that a burning desire is the starting point of all achievement. Rekindle that fire. Even small, it can ignite your entire reality. And remember, the strongest winds always come before the calm. You may be tired, but you're not alone. Everyone who reached the top walked through the valley. And if you keep moving, even if you stumble, even if you cry, you will rise. Every single step today, no matter how small it may seem, is building the future you dream of. This is not your defeat. It's just a comma. Your story is still being written, and the next chapter could be the most powerful of all. But it will only be written if you keep going. Napoleon Hill left us a map, and it starts right here. Choose to believe, even when no one else does. Choose to persist, even when the world tells you to quit. Choose to continue, because your victory might be just one step away. Have you ever stopped to think that maybe your failure isn't the end, but rather the ground where your greatest success is being planted? It might sound strange to hear that now, especially if all you feel is pain, shame, or frustration.
But what if I told you that the failure that knocked you down is actually building the foundation for something greater? What if everything you're going through right now is exactly what needs to happen so that you can handle the weight of the success that's coming? The truth is, failure has a purpose. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it breaks you. But it clears the path. It removes what no longer serves you. It destroys what is crooked. It forces you to look inward and ask yourself, what do I truly want? Who am I when everything I built comes crashing down? And it's only at that brutal point of vulnerability that real rebuilding begins. Because true success, the kind that lasts, is never built on illusion or vanity. It's born from scars, from lessons, from sleepless nights and decisions that demand everything from you. Failure is the greatest teacher of all. It doesn't clap for you, it doesn't spare you, it doesn't flatter you. It shatters your ego, brings you to your knees and whispers, "Do you still want this, even now?" And if your answer is yes, then and only then you begin to understand what true determination means.
Most people never reach success because they don't know how to deal with failure. They see a no and take it as a period when it's really just a comma. They look at their mistakes and say, "This isn't for me," when they should be saying, "This is part of the path." Do you know the difference between those who make it and those who quit halfway? It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not intelligence, it's resilience, emotional courage, the ability to rise for the 100th time, even knowing they might fall again. Napoleon Hill once said, "Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit." The challenge is that this seed often comes wrapped in pain, in shame, in doubt, and many people throw it away before ever discovering what was inside. But those who choose to view failure through the lens of wisdom begin to see the game differently. They understand that every fall is making them stronger, not weaker. That every closed door is redirecting them towards something better, something more aligned with who they truly are. It's important to remember, the world's greatest visionaries failed, and they failed hard. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before lighting the first bulb. These stories aren't exceptions, they are the rule. Every authentic success passes through the valley of shadow, through loneliness, through deep discomfort. It's there that you uncover your real motivation. When you lose everything, all that remains is your essence, and that's exactly what you need to build something unshakable. Failure reveals you. It shows whether what you want is rooted in truth or ego. It eliminates the noise. And when everything around you goes quiet, that's when you start hearing your true voice. The one that says, "I didn't come this far to quit now." That conviction, that quiet strength rising from deep within, that's power. That's maturity. That's the kind of foundation for success no one can ever take from you. Failure is uncomfortable, yes, but it's also liberating. Because deep down, when you fail, you've got nothing left to lose. And in that space, boldness is born. You begin to try again, but this time without the pressure to be perfect. You create with more courage. You move with more truth. You're no longer trying to impress, you're finally trying to live what you were born to be. And the universe responds to that. When you embrace failure as part of the plan, instead of treating it like the enemy, something inside you shifts. You stop resisting. You start flowing. You stop fighting what went wrong and start building with what's left. And slowly, you realize that failure gave you more than it ever took away. Clarity, focus, depth, humility. Success is not a straight line. It's a spiral. You rise, you fall, you learn, and you rise again. Each time you come back, you return stronger, more centered, more aware. True growth doesn't happen without pain. But no pain is wasted if you choose to use it as fuel. Failure only becomes final when you stop trying. But if you keep going, wounded, tired, it becomes the most powerful chapter of your story. That moment in the future when you look back and say, "That's when everything changed. That's when I discovered what I'm made of." And that is what transforms lives. It's not about avoiding failure, it's about learning to dance with it, to look it in the eye and say, "I'm still here, and I'm not done yet."
So, if today you feel like everything has gone wrong, breathe. Take a deep breath. And remember, this is not the end. This is a new beginning. The soil of your life has been turned over. It hurts because it's fertile. It feels heavy because it's loaded with seeds. The harvest doesn't come on the same day as the planting, but it will come, and it will be greater than anything you ever imagined. Because now you are more prepared. Because now you know what it means to fall and rise. Because now you know failure didn't break you, it forged you. And what is born from that, no one will ever be able to take from you. Today, you have two choices: give up or persist. One takes you back to darkness. The other leads to a life you haven't met yet. Napoleon Hill whispers what's already inside you. Keep going. If this video spoke to your soul, share it with someone who needs to hear this. Subscribe to the channel, and never ever forget, you are stronger than you think. Come back here anytime you feel like giving up.